Good morning and welcome back to Learning Academic Writing with Mr. Young. In this video, I'm going to introduce the use of relative clauses in writing task 2, writing an essay. And then I would like you to focus on some adjectives which are very interesting when you use to just write things task 2. Okay, so don't take so much time now. Let's get started. In this lesson, we have a look back at relative clauses and how to use them in writing essays. As you know, we have some relative pronouns like who, that, which, whose, when, where, and whom. And I think you just have some knowledge of how to use them. Okay. And today's lesson also focuses on how to use adjectives which are kind of interesting when you just write things in task 2. Okay, now we get started with the first one. The first pronoun are going to see the adjectival pronouns, like relative pronouns. And we have two separate sentences, but then you can combine two sentences together to have one sentence only, and I call it a complex sentence. Okay. For example, you write a sentence: I told you about a woman. She lives next door. So you can combine two sentences together to have this sentence. Okay. So we type it here. I told you about the woman. About the woman. She lives next door. So we can see the relationship between she and woman. Right. So the woman lives next door. So I told you about the woman who lives next door. Okay. So this is the relative clause, and this is the main clause. This is the person who helped me yesterday. Right. So we can write this is the person helping me yesterday. Okay. So he is helping me yesterday because this is an active voice. Or we can write this is the person who was helped, right? But we just cross out who was, so we have helped by the police. We use this one because this is a passive voice. So we have two ways of reducing a relative clause. If it's an active voice, you use an ing verb, and if it's a passive one, so we use a verb 3 or ed. So this is the present participle, and this is the past participle. Okay. So this is the very simple ways to write a complex sentence. Okay, next. And who, we just know that we use this to replace a person. How about which? Which is used for showing things. So, do you see the cat which is lying on the roof? Right. Or I like the book which talks about nature. So we can write I like the book talking. Is talking about nature. right? So the next sentence, I don't like the table that. We can use that to represent a thing or a person, and of course it is used for defining relative clauses, not a non-defining one. Okay, so we just know that this can replace the table here, or we can write, I don't like the table standing in the kitchen. The boy that runs towards me is Namson. The boy running, yeah, because it's an active voice. The boy running towards me is Namson. Okay. So to sum up, we have to focus on who, which, and that. Okay, the three basic relative pronouns that you need to know. Okay, that's two. Right, and we often use adverbial pronouns as well. And some of you are confused that they are adjectival pronouns, but it is not. I don't know the reason. You didn't go to school for that reason. So you can combine the two sentences together using why. I don't know the reason why I didn't go to school. Okay, it's easy because you have the reason why. The hotel wasn't very clean. We stayed in that hotel. The hotel where or in which, okay, we can use where we stay was not very clean. And in the formal way, you can use the hotel which or that because you have no comma here. We stay in was not very clean, right? So just imagine this one is a an independent one. Okay. The hotel, you can cross out which or that because it's later on is an object. The hotel we stay in was not very clean, and this is a formal way, informal way, sorry. And I would like you to focus on how to use it. The hotel which or that we stayed in was not very clean. Instead of using the hotel we stayed in was not very clean. The problem is serious. We should be aware of it. So this is a serious problem that we should be aware. This is one way, okay? One way for writing. But you can use the preposition of instead of in front of which. So we have this is the serious problem of which we should be aware. And this is really a very formal way for you to use. Like some word depend on, okay, rely on. Okay. Some words like this. And when the last adverbial pronouns. I don't know the time when she will come back. So just like when to combine the two clauses. Okay, the next one. Mr. Brown is a nice teacher. We studied with him last year. Mr. Brown, with whom we studied last year, is a nice teacher. Or Mr. Brown, whom we studied with last year. So can you who or whom here? Okay, but I recommend you're using your first word. Mr. Brown, with whom we studied. So with this teacher. Okay, next way. She can't come to my birthday party. Okay, that makes me sad. So that here, this represents the horn sentence, the previous one. So we can use with the comma. She can't come to my birthday party, which makes me sad. Okay, or neither or bottom and who's up, because I don't have much time explaining these relative and adverbial pronouns. So you can have a look at this at home and just bear in mind that we use right after the preposition of instead of using who, and we can use both of them. This is the wrong one because we have one sentence, we have it's another sentence, and them is not a relative pronoun, so it's not appropriate to be used here. Okay, so we use the first one. No, cross it out. Cross it out. Okay, this not this way is better. Okay. All right. So you can have a look at these things when we reduce the relative clause. The children who were happy, this is the relative clause, right? And this is only one adjective. So maybe you can write this in this way. The children have happy, right? Play, blah blah blah. So be careful with this, right? This is not okay. No, don't use that. So we can write the happy children played, because happy is a very positive adjective, so we can't use this after children. I will introduce you some past positive adjectives that we use it later, and you have to know between pre and post positive adjectives so that you can use it in the correct way. Okay, next one. The product would seem. So some of you will write the product seeming, because you see that the perfect in blah blah blah. Okay, to the end. This is okay, but I don't recommend you to use it in this way. So just cross out this, and you use it as an adjectival phrase in many ways, because you know it's a long one. It's an adjective phrase, so you can't use perfect here because you have in many ways after perfect. Okay, got it? And this one, this a okay. You see on the table, this is adverbial phrase. So you can see the box on uh, the box on the table was which was on the was made in Italy. Okay, okay, got it. So we don't use be in here because it's an adverbial phrase. So process. Alright, understand about this? Okay, that's it. Now we just recognize the positions of relative clauses used in the essay. So this is the inversion that I did teach you about this. Alright. So we can see which helps them. After writing an idea, a supporting idea, you use which helps them to explain more about this. So which, okay, replace the whole sentence before that. Or who, okay, or which here as well, or that. That here is a noun clause, so it's not counted here. They make their own decisions that offer. We can't use the comma here because that here will modified decision. Okay, so it's closely linked. So you can see that using relative clauses is very popular when we write in task 2 because it helps us to show our grammatical range and can use this with accuracy. Alright. So you can practice more and then you can use that. Okay, now some interesting adjectives to use in your writing. Okay. In Vietnamese, we have a phrase "mọc bông hoa đẹp." So how can we say that? Can we write it in English? So are beautiful flowers, right? Or a flower beautiful. So which one is correct? For sure, we use in this way, a beautiful flower. But in Vietnamese, we say mọc bông hoa đẹp, not a beautiful mọc bông hoa and beautiful đẹp. You know the reason why. We don't wonder about this, right? But we need to know because beautiful is a very positive adjectives. It's a very adjective, right? So that means it have to stand in front of the noun flower. So we can write this a beautiful, a flower beautiful, all right? So we have like Kai. This is a Kai's man. Okay. This is a Kai, man or woman. Okay. So Kai is the same, right? Okay. However, you have to know that sometimes we use an adjective after the noun. For example, we have something new, right? Not new something. We don't write it in this one, no. Or something new, maybe, because this is an indefinite pronouns, so we use new after that. And sometimes new can be used before the nouns, the common nouns, right? How can we say "bạch tuyết"? How can we say "bạch tuyết" in English? So some of you will write this is "bạch." This is the white one, the white snow. Like the white snow is okay when snow outside is white. But in literary works, we use here Snow White and the second props. So Snow White in literary, okay, or Rome time in immemorial. So this is long times ago, and we use this one adjective to modify here. We don't write Rome immemorial time. No, need to be careful. So Snow White, that's the white no. Okay, so but this is a literary work on the white horse, but literally we use the horse white, bạch mã hoàng tử. Okay, the horse white. Instead of using that in the literary one. Okay. Now, so some ways that you can use adjective after the noun. For example, we had the queen pregnant, not pregnant. So the queen pregnant, hoàng hậu đang tự trị. Okay. Or on matters financial. Maybe you can use on financial matters, but it's not hesitant to be used on matters financial, tất cả các vấn đề về tài chính. Okay. Or you can write I don't care about the financial matters or the financial problem. But when you use the phrase on matters financial, it should be in that way. Okay. So, alright. Okay, we got a lot, but actually, I just introduce some of them for you. Job in hand. In hand just modify the job, but we use this after this. We don't use in hand job. Task underway or a case in point. This is a case in point. This is an example. So we case in point to modify a case. A lot of things here. Okay, and so like the best room available. We don't write the best available room, and the only decision possible, not the only possible decision, the worst story imaginable or the person liable. Okay, so be careful when we use, so we can read more about this. Sometimes we have different meanings when you use an adjective before the noun or an adjective after the noun. Okay? They have different meanings, so be careful when you use. If you have any questions about the meanings of the four sentences here, you can send me an email or just inbox me. I will explain this for you. Okay, the last one. Alright. Some adjectives you use after the noun, not in front of a noun. For example, we have a priest, okay, or a Kimbo. So he stood arms akimbo. Akimbo is an adjective, but we use this after the noun arms. We don't write an akimbo arm because akimbo must be after the noun. Đứng trong hành, okay, arms akimbo or a plenty. There are, so we can say, right, there are many or a lot of shows, is it right? So we can change this into there are shows plenty. So this is a way we use an adjective to make it more interesting. Okay. Or extraordinary, okay, excellent, or galore. Alright, so you can search for this online or learn in the dictionary to satisfy your sweet tooth. This cafe has desserts galore. So sweet tooth is for those who like to eat sweet things. Has a lot of kinds of desserts. So desserts galore. Okay, you see interesting, right? Or incarnate, bằng xương bằng thịt. Devils incarnate. Incarnate is an adjective that we use it after devils, not incarnate devils. It's the wrong way. So devils incarnate, một con quỷ bằng xương bằng thịt. Alright. Or in times past, not in past times. Right. Okay. Alright. So something like aware, afraid, alive, awake, alone, ashamed, a neighbor, exempt, content, and unscathed. So we use it like she emerged just unscathed after the scandal. So unscathed is an adjective, làm như không có cái ảnh hưởng gì, không có bị thương, không có bị tác động gì cả. So the bird is afraid, so we can use a frightened bird instead of unafraid bird. We don't write it. So we say this is unafraid bird, but actually we can't use that. frightened, if you want to use an adjective in front of an area. And some adjectives we use only in front. For example, the man, so we can say the man problem is blah blah blah. If we write the the problems is a man, so it's not here. We don't have this sentence. Okay, we don't have this sentence. So be careful for some adjectives that you can use in front of a noun, after the noun, or after the linking words. Alright, so we have some names for this, but I think you don't need to know much about these. If you have questions about attribute, radicative, or adjectives, or past positive, so you can inbox me. So I will explain more for you about this. Okay, so that's it for the. I hope that just got something new to you, and then you can use it for your future essays. So it's time to say goodbye and see you in the next video with this topic. Keep it secret.